It's such a pleasure to have you, Her Excellency Dr. Amani Abou-Zeid, Commissioner for Infrastructure, Energy and Digitization at the African Union. You mentioned earlier that Africa needs massive investments to deploy projects at scale, particularly in the energy sector. Now, I would like to know what the African Union is doing to support Africa's ambitions.
First, let me thank you, Irene, for having me. It's such a pleasure to be with you and through you to greet all African media. And I do believe that you have, like all of us, have an important role in order to advocate for and also showcase the many efforts that are being deployed across the continent for our socio-economic development. Yes, indeed. Earlier in the session, I did mention that Africa needs investments at scale, and these investments have to be really massive in order to cater for our needs and ambitions. Let me remind everyone that currently Africa, the share, since we are here, in the renewable energy conference, the share of renewables in the continent is 40% when it comes to our energy mix. It's the highest in the world. However, with all the energy produced in the continent, and despite really the abundance of resources, natural resources to produce energy in the continent, as we stand, more than half of our population do not have access to energy. Moreover, 90% of our population does not have access to clean cooking, which is causing premature death, especially for women and children. So really tragedies at the human level, at the socio-economic development level. We have massive losses of between 2 and 4% of our GDP due to this serious energy poverty. So at the African Union, we are having several initiatives and programs in order to address socioeconomic challenges in general, but specifically energy. We have a program for infrastructure development in the continent, abbreviated as PIDA, and this is a 10-year program. One important component is on electricity and cross-border transmission, so cross-border connections. We have also a program to deploy geothermal energy in the countries where it's available, like Eastern Africa. We have 12 countries that are benefiting from the grants to develop geothermal energy. We have a program for small island states for mini hydro across Africa. We also have a program together with the African Development Bank and Africa 50 for green infrastructure, including interconnections and energy, and so on and so forth. Our purpose is also, we have a larger program, which is a flagship. We call it a flagship project or flagship program, which is cross-continental, which is the African single electricity market. So our aim is that by 2040 we would link the continent through interconnections, ensure generation of enough electricity using the various resources that we are having, and this is happening with a master plan that we are finalizing now, so that to ensure universal access by 2040. And yes, indeed, for this market to be operational, there is need for $1.3 trillion. We are, seriously engaging with partners, with whether they are bilateral or multilateral or also developing institutions, but also more recently with the private sector. New sources of finance, such as green bonds, carbon markets, new instruments for finance, in order to mobilize this important resource. This important financial amount that is needed for energy And without energy, hardly any sector can be operational. So there is lots of efforts, and I'm happy to say that I'm seeing increased focus and attention on Africa to accelerate and expedite our single electricity market, knowing that Africa is also central to transition programs or energy transition in the world. And actually, the single African electricity market not only can cover Africa's needs, but enough also to export.
All right. I mean, there's the quote that's attributed to you about being a catalyst, energy being a catalyst for socioeconomic growth and development in Africa. So we'll move a bit towards conversations about digitization. Africa has the fastest rate of internet penetration in the world. How is digitalization contributing to energy access and infrastructure development?
Actually, Africa has a beautiful story to tell about digitalization.
Absolutely.
It is not only, we have the fastest rate through of penetration when it comes to the internet, but also our young people, which is, our biggest and most important resource. They are doing wonders with digital connections and digitalization. The ease with which each and every African, even illiterate, can and is using digital is unique in the world. Now, we also must remember that for digital to work, we need electricity. And the other side is also, the opposite is also true. We can also have electricity using digital. And we have examples such as, a mini grid, for instance, in rural area, using a solar panel. The problem has always been how to pay, the payment. Now, with mobile money, which is an African invention, with mobile money, we can pay also for this solar panel and share even the electricity that's being produced with other, households. So the technologies that are being developed with the digital tools provide us with new solutions for energy, provide us with new solutions for health. We have examples in Rwanda where vaccines and medication is being transported with drones. We all have seen during COVID how in many African countries you can have a consultation online. With e-health, we are deploying also through an African our digital transformation strategy, agriculture, in order to issues of climate, market prices of crops, and so on and so forth. So linking, all the technical issues for agriculture, but also the markets for agriculture and agribusiness using digital technologies. Africa is so, wonderfully endowed when it comes to adoption of new technologies, and our young people, I repeat, despite the very high price of internet, actually what we pay for the internet is 10 times more what others pay in other regions of the world, despite the intermittence of electricity, because even when you have it, it comes and goes, it's not reliable, and it's also expensive. We are doing wonders. So the same thing, what I said about energy earlier, we are doing the same also in the digital space. More connectivity between countries. We have 30 countries who have been interconnected thanks to the African Union. More skills development, women and men, because we also want to bridge the divide, urban and rural. We want to make sure that rural areas get the same access when it comes to digital connectivity, and then supporting the development of sectoral strategies for the continent to ensure that all our sectors use and make use of this wonderful technology. And this year we will also, by summer, we would have adopted an African artificial intelligence strategy that is going to be massive. That's a big advancement. And very recently, only 2 months ago, we were also the first region in the world to adopt a policy to empower and protect our children online. We want them to use the internet, we want them to use the digital technologies, but also in a safe and secure manner.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I mean, it's such a pleasure to have you sit with us. Her Excellency Dr. Amani Abou-Zeid, Commissioner for Infrastructure, Energy and Digitalization at the African Union.